You're probably wondering how I got up here, right? The day started off with a very, very stupid idea. That. I was going to climb that. I set sail with a simple plan in mind. Use the harpoons introduced in Season 14, you know, these things, to scale one of the stone arches outside of an outpost. Simple in concept though it was, as I sailed closer and saw the stone behemoth towering above me, I couldn't help but feel a bit nervous at the task before me. Not sure if the goal I set for myself was even remotely possible yet, I loaded up and prepared for my first climb. Surprisingly, all things considered, it went pretty well. Aside from a couple misfires of the harpoon, I was able to find a path up the spire pretty easily, and on my first try, I made it halfway up. But, of course, being my first attempt, the inevitable eventually did happen. Still, I was feeling pretty pleased with myself. Already making it halfway up on my first attempt, it couldn't be too much harder to make it all the way to the top. Right. At this point, I was feeling pretty discouraged. What you saw was only a fraction of the attempts I've made. I've been trying this all day, and by this point, it was after midnight. I really wondered if it was all for nothing. I mean, to get so close to the top so early on, and to just be stuck, it didn't feel right. Not quite willing to give up on this ridiculous challenge, I decided to attempt climbing the arches in the other biomes of the Sea of Thieves. The arches in the wilds have a lot of tricky geometry. You'll often find yourself soft locked, and unless you have a way of sending yourself to the ferry, the only way to escape is to restart your entire game. It may be possible to reach the top, but with all the precise shots you'd have to land, I think you're more likely to encounter the Shrouded Ghost. Surprisingly, the archetype in the Shores of Plenty is even worse. Along with the whole soft lock situation, you will also encounter an impassable, invisible wall halfway up the arch. No matter what you do, you will never be able to reach the top of this arch. Unless you're hacking, which is cringe. So, feeling more defeated than ever, I returned to the original arch outside Ancient Spire Outpost. I wasn't sure how to end this video considering I didn't reach my goal. But as I watched the sun rise from my vantage point, I suddenly didn't feel quite so defeated. Sure, I didn't reach my goal, I didn't make it to the top, but this is still the highest anyone has ever been in this game without bugs, glitches, or hacking. I mean, just look at how small the sloop looks compared to when you're at the top of the galleon at Galleon's Grave Outpost. I may not have reached the summit, but you know what? That's okay. And if you think you can surpass me on this crazy challenge, I encourage you to try. That's all I have for today's video. If you watched until the end, please consider subscribing. If you think I'm a quitter for giving up on this challenge before reaching the top, be sure to tell me about it in the comments. And remember, don't wash your pasta.